So hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my Zerg support for Necromancer build of sorts, something like that. Because I got a couple of questions about my Necromancer, you know, what build am I using, what traits, what weapons, and what gear, and how am I, supporting as a Necromancer. So here it is. Because what I found is, when I was looking for good basically support builds or healer builds or condition removal builds, there are good builds, but they are good for fractals, for normal 5-mans, for structured PvP, but full-on Zerg support, I couldn't really find any. Okay, so this is why I'm doing this. And here it is. I'm using a dagger and a focus just to get a lot of life force from the dagger. You also have a nice heal from the dagger, and you have an immobilize, which is awesome. So the dagger is straight up amazing. And with focus you have Reaper's Touch, which inflicts vulnerability and grants regen as it bounces between enemies and allies. So it's good. Once again, it gives life force. And Spinal Shivers removes boons and chills the target, which is always good. Then I'm using Well of Blood, which basically just heals. This is what it does. You use it, bam, big circle that heals. Very good, straight up supportive skill. Well of Power, this is the other well I like to use. This converts conditions into boons on allies, and this is kinda, this is good for 5-mans. But in big Zergs, people are running around, especially in World v World. People are trying to dodge everything, so they're not gonna stand in it. Which is why I'm also using the Plague Signet, which passively transfers condition from nearby allies to yourself. So I basically leech conditions from allies with this signet passively, and when I have a ton of conditions, I throw down Well of Power, and I try to throw it down somewhere where there is a bunch of people around me. So, a lot of people get the benefit of this. Now, in World v World, I like to use the Spectral Walk because it's amazing. It gives you swiftness. You get life force when taking damage, which basically, it heals you, kinda, because life force is your secondary health bar, so you can survive more. You're actually very tanky as a Necromancer, so Spectral Walk is really good. And also the secondary attack, or the secondary use, is when you use this, you can use it again and it teleports you back. So you can get out of hairy situations when you're like, oh shit, people up front need some support, or someone needs reviving, and suddenly you realize, holy shit, there's like 10 guys coming towards me. So you pop it again, it teleports you back, and you're safe. Because if you're dead, you're not supporting. Okay, the first rule you have to understand is that if you're alive, you're good, but if you're dead, you're not supporting, so you're useless. But if you don't like Spectral Walk, you can take Well of Darkness, which blinds, which is good in PvE, not so good in PvP. Or you can take Spectral Wall or Spectral Armor, doesn't really matter. Or you can, if you're, I think this is a human skill, you can Beseech Kormir to remove up to 3 conditions, and stuff like that. But this is what I like. I like to use Plague, and there is a simple reason for that. For PvE and PvP, this is an amazing skill. I think this is the best ultimate skill for a Necromancer, because when you pop it, okay, you get stability. That's the first thing. You are an ultra tank. You are a super tank. While you're in this, your health goes up, your armor goes up, and you have this Plague of Darkness, adds blindness to your plague. So if you do this, every time it pulses, it will blind 5 targets. Okay, so this is absolutely amazing in World versus World or massive Zergs when there is a lot of mobs. When we engage in World versus World, I usually throw down my wells, I jump into Plague form, and I just run up ahead to blind as many dudes as possible so we can just bulldoze them. Okay, and it works really well. Just, if you have like 5 Necromancers sporting Plague, and as you're engaging, they all pop Plague and they just run ahead and they start blinding everyone. That's amazing. That's how you win in World versus World. Also by healing and, by other supporting. But this skill, this skill actually wins engagements if your necromancers are using it and they're just going balls deep with a good equipment. Okay, if they're squishy, they're still gonna die. But if you're sporting something like knights, clerics, soldiers, you know, something with toughness or vitality, so you're more tanky and you have some sustain, you're not gonna die. You're just gonna you're gonna swim through the enemy forces and you're gonna survive. They're gonna be blind and pissed off because they just lost. Okay, so play really good. Now I'm sporting cleric's gear, full-on cleric's gear. Okay, it's not very good, but I am rocking the cleric's gear. Now I'm using Superior Sigil of Water, 30% chance on critical, heal nearby allies here as well, and here I have Superior Sigil of Life, gain 10 healing each time you kill a foe. Now you might be asking yourself, why the balls are you using Sigil of Water, which is 30% chance on crit when you have 4% crit? Because I have a trait that makes this work, trust me. Okay, as I've said, I don't have a good gear. I don't I don't have, you know, runes or whatever they're called, runes. I don't have them because this gear is shit and I just don't want to waste runes by throwing it at them. So that's the gear, just clerics, 2 sigils of water and 1 sigil of life in the focus. Now, why did I turn it off? Now, traits. I have 10 death magic, 30 in blood magic and 30 in soul reaping. Death magic, you know, the jagged horrors, you know, they can take aggro off you in PvE maybe, you know, but the main thing is Ritual of Protection. Wells apply protection when cast. This is really good, okay, especially when combined with something like this, which is the first in blood magic. You know, gain regeneration whether your health drops below 90% health is not bad, but this Well of Blood, create Well of Blood whenever you revive an ally. Okay, and it gives 3 and 1/4 seconds of protection, which is minus 33% incoming damage. And Well of Blood is this. Okay, I don't know the internal cooldown, but when you revive someone, you're automatically gonna cast this. So when you get someone up, he already has protection on him. Okay, for the next 3 seconds. Then you can put your normal Well of Blood down. He has protection for 6.5 seconds, and he's full on health because the well also heals. Okay, so that's really good if you combine those two. And if you throw down Well of Power, you know, you have 10 seconds of protection pretty much, and that's just amazing. Now, Vampiric Siphon Health whenever you hit a foe. This is your sustain. Okay, you're gonna be hitting a lot of dudes, and you're gonna be healing a lot, especially in a plague form. You're gonna heal a lot. Next, I have Transfusion. Life Transfer heals nearby allies. This is a Death Shroud ability. I'm going to talk about that later. Blood 2 Power. Gain additional power while your health is above the threshold. So if you have more than 75% health, you have 120 bonus power. Not too shabby. And then we have Deathly Invigoration. Heal in an area when you leave Death Shroud. So what you're going to be doing is basically you jump in Death Shroud, you use your abilities, and you immediately jump out to use this, you know. And then as it comes off of cooldown, you jump in it again and you jump out because you don't have the cooldowns yet. So, you know, you're basically going to be jumping in and out of Death Shroud as much as possible, and you want to have as many people around you as possible in order for this to be effective. If you don't think that you're okay with basically shroud dancing, so you're jumping in and out like a madman, you can take Vampiric Rituals. Wells also siphon health every time they pulse. This will make you even more tanky. This will make you super tanky, okay, because the wells, they can hit 5 targets each, and it actually does a little bit of damage, so they will actually tag enemies for you as well. This will give you a lot of survivability. Each summoned minion draws a condition. We're not going to use minions because their AI is bonkers. You can use this so you're faster, you know, or siphon health whenever you crit, which is not that great because we don't have crit, and stuff like that. Or you can take reduced recharge on wells, so you can throw down the wells faster. Next, Soul Reaping, 30. You know, increases life force gain from skills 10%. Good, you want to be in Death Shroud as much as possible. Reduces recharge from Death Shroud skills, 15% lower cooldown. Amazing. Then we have Spectral Armor. Gain life force as you take damage removed when you enter Death Shroud. Also applies protection. So once again, 6 seconds of protection when you drop below 50% health, and you're also getting life force while being hit. Now this one, Mark of Revival, I'm playing around with this one because I couldn't really find one that I would find very interesting, but this inscribes a mark that causes fear when you're reviving someone. Now I like this because when you're reviving someone and an asshole runs up to you and starts hitting you, he will get feared, run away, and probably lose interest and start hitting someone else. So that's good. If you don't like it, you can use this, but that's not recommended because once again you want to jump out of Death Shroud to use your wells and also heal by just leaving the Death Shroud. Then reduces no, maybe. This might be good, but I really like the fear more. Nope. No, not really. So I really like the Reaper's Mark, okay, Mark of Revival. And the last one, Death Perception, increases critical hit chance while in Death Shroud. 50% crit while in Death Shroud. And this is why the Sigils of Water work. Because in Death Shroud, we're gonna heal a lot. Okay, what you do with this setup is you're removing conditions all the time. Okay, you're using things like Reaper's Touch to grant regeneration to people, you're removing boons with Spinal Shivers, you're immobilizing and doing CC with Dark Pack. If you drop, you know, below a certain percentage of health, you can use Life Siphon, and generally you're just smashing them with Dagger to get Life Force. You're switching to Staff, so you get Mark of Blood, which once again grants regeneration to 5 allies. And we have Chillbanes, which just does damage, but it applies chill, so it's sort of a light CC, it's a slow of sorts. Then Putrid Mark inscribes Mark that transfers condition from yourself to foes when they trigger it. Okay, so once again, condition removal, and it's a blast combo finisher as well. I forgot to mention this. This is a dark combo field, and this is a light combo field as well. So you're providing combo fields. Okay, combo field Poison. This doesn't have a combo field, but this is combo finisher Blast. Okay, so if there is, I don't know, a basically a combo field like Well of Power or whatever, you can actually finish it with this. It's really awkward to do because when there is some sort of a combo field, hitting it with the Putrid Mark and actually baiting an enemy to trigger it in the combo field, nah, that's kind of dodgy, but it can be done. Okay, so you're removing conditions, you are applying protection with wells, and you're pretty much applying regeneration. Once you jump into Death Shroud, you turn into a massive heal machine. Okay, healing, I don't know, at level 80, 6,000 for 5 people at once. You know, and you heal more from crits. It's insane how much healing you can do as a Necromancer, okay? This is your main heal, Life Transfer. It heals nearby allies, okay? It will tick 5 times, if I'm correct. And this is your main heal. And then you're gonna spam Life Blast, and if you crit with it, you're gonna do some additional healing. But also, if you crit with Life Transfer, that can trigger the sigils as well. So while you're healing with the Life Transfer, you will crit a lot because you have over 50% crit, and you will heal even more. So it's absolutely amazing. You're just a heal cannon. And that's it for this video. I thank you all for watching. I hope you liked the build, and I will see you next time. Shut up!